Time to add roads to the model railroad extension, road at the scrapyard, road to the backdrop, road along the tracks. Let's take a look. Howdy YouTubers. It's been a while since I've given a long form update on the layout and the extension in particular. You can see there's a lot going on. I decided to go for pavement today. Putting down roads. It looks like a mess right now, but it will be nice once it's done. So what I use is just general purpose spackling. Some guys use lightweight spackling. Some guys use joint compound. I find this stuff's easy to work with. It takes usually one good coat and then a second coat to go over cracks. Right now it's very rough because I just wanted to fill it in. So this is the Scrapyard. That's the first industry off this new extension. And the track will be buried there, mostly with dirt. So it's what's white now will be, it'll be generally smooth, and I'll have some tire ruts and some dirt on top. And what I do is I take a double-sided tape and I use that as an edge. So it's about a half-inch wider than what you see here. So the ballast from the track will go out and meet up against the dirt roadway there. And you can see when I peel that up, you get a nice clean edge once it dries. And some of the top layer, the homo soap, comes up. I don't care because I'm going to paint and ballast that anyway. So all along the edge of the roadway is that double-sided tape. And the roadway curves off into the backdrop. And then it goes into this metal fabrication plant, which the interior will be concrete. It'll have a concrete floor since you're backing cars into the industry. So that also is pretty rough. One tip, if you do the backdrop first, which I like to do, just because it gives me an idea of how I'm going to orient everything. I put wax paper and I just gently tape that with painter's tape, and I tuck it down to the very bottom edge of the backdrop, and that way when the wet spackling goes up against it, it doesn't do any harm to the backdrop. So that's why you see that wax paper all the way along the base of the backdrop. So then in the forward ground here in the front, I'm going to have this dirt road continuing, and then it kind of gradually will turn into pavement. And here I'm going to have an engine or a crew change facility, and then maybe a small scrappy building here. And then the road veers off and continues out off the layout. And then everything in between will be ballasted. So the whole yard will be ballasted. This track that goes into the metal fabrication plant will be ballasted up to the point where you're going into the building. The building is tipped on its side, just to get it out of the way. And that gives me an opportunity to show you what I've done here. I use this fiber optics for this particular building, and it's unhooked now. But what I've done is I've made little styrene housings for each of every place you see a white styrene box. Basically, there's a piece of fiber optic poking out of that. So there's 4 of those, and that then shines off the inside of the building. So I put together a series of building interiors. It's hard to see with that wax paper, but when you look through the windows of the building, those fiber optics give a nice, not overly intense light, just kind of a warm wash, so you can look through the windows and it appears like there's actually something inside the building. And then when you look inside the garage door or the loading bay door, you can see the inside of what looks like a fabrication plant. So that's one idea with fiber optics. In addition to this, which I've shown, and that's actually lighted. It's still hooked up. That's the signal light that turns red when you back the cars into the facility. So that's also done with fiber optics. And that's the back side of the signal, which I scratch built. The signal is just a couple pieces of shaped styrene to give it a nice lens look, signal light look. Anyway, that's the building. Another idea since I've got this here, is this is weather stripping, and it's the kind of rubber weather stripping that's flexible. So it's sticky with 3M tape on one side that I stuck against the roof of the building, and then I had this sitting out a little bit proud. So when I push the building against the wall, that makes a nice seal so the light doesn't leak out. So that's a good tip if you've got a building that presses up against the wall and you have it lighted. Just put a piece of weather strip like that all along the edge and it blocks the light. And of course also paint the inside black so that no light leaks out. And where you see, you could see plastic filler here. Anywhere there was cracks, light was leaking out, I just filled that. So lighting buildings is nice, but comes with its extra bit of work to get it to look nice. So the roadway here, and it's also rough. It's gonna dry overnight. I'll put a second coat on. I'll sand it, and there'll be some cracks and potholes. And once it's washed and painted, it'll look like a road. And then this back here will be dirt, not that rough. And that'll turn into pavement. The pavement veers off into the backdrop, and then the concrete floor there. So that's what most of today's work has been around. It's coming together. Quite a bit more to do. Last video I showed these lights that I scratch built using styrene and micro LEDs, and then this room, a detailed room that when you look in the window you see. I like that idea more than like lighting the whole inside of the building. This way you can just light block this area, and you're looking in that window, there's a room there, that's all you need to detail, rather than the whole inside of the building. So that was a fun project. So yeah, well, not all the, but a lot of the equipment and the engines are moved out of the yard to keep them safe. I've got a lot of the cars still here. But when it's done, it will add a whole new dimension to the layout into operations. It's hard to visualize it now, but I have it in my brain what it's going to look like. So stay tuned. I'll post more updates. Hope you have a great week. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe. And be well. Cheers.